Hello, welcome. Today is Monday of the third week of Lent as we continue on our journey to Easter. I don't know about you, but it's always an interesting thing when you go home. No matter what's happened, how far you've grown, family never tends to forget those things about, well, I remember when you did this or you said that or whatever. And I can't help but think that when Jesus goes back to Nazareth, which is the gospel of today, the same thing kind of happens, Great aunt is sitting there and she says, oh, I remember him when he fell and cried and cried and cried when he skinned his knee. And, everybody remembers Jesus as a kid. But then they hear these things that are going on and, they go to the synagogue and Jesus gets up and does the reading and he speaks to them for a little while. And they're very impressed. But he can tell that there are expectations. They want him to perform. He says, in the days of Elijah the prophet, there were many widows, but Elijah was only sent to the widow of Zarephath, who was a pagan. And in the days of Elisha the prophet, there were many lepers, but Naaman the Syrian was the one that was cured by Elisha, not the people of Israel. In a way, Jesus is saying, I'm sorry, folks, I'm not going to perform for you. I know you've heard things, but that's not what I'm about. I'm not the little kid that I was before. I've come to understand much more. He'd understood now that he was the Son of the Eternal Father in heaven, and that he used his power to do good. And that was an important thing. But the truth is, my sisters and brothers, you and I live with expectations all the time. And I thought about that. Sometimes, family just will never accept. I know that there have been times that there were things going on in my family that I tried to reach out in hopes that somehow I could be helpful, only to be told, David, I changed your diaper. Somehow, no, they weren't going to accept what I was trying to do. And that's okay. But other times, the reality is that it doesn't matter whether I perform up to people's expectations. What matters is I do what's best, what God would have me do. That in the end, that's what Jesus was saying. That he came to do his Father's will, to do whatever it was that the Father asked of him. And that's all that's asked of you and me. Today, on this third Monday of Lent, on this journey to Easter, let us strive to do whatever it is the Father asks of us and to perform to the Lord's expectations. Have a great journey. God bless.